Hey guys, it's me CriticalCubing, and in this video I will be going over the full PLL cases from recognition to execution, and also what finger tricks you should use for the ALs which I will be showing. And if you want to learn the 2-look PLLs like the U perm, H perm and Z perm, click on the link in the description and you can learn those PLLs. I won't be including those PLLs in this video just to keep full PLL and 2-look PLL a bit apart from each other, even though they fall under the same PLL category. So first I will be going over the recognition and how you can distinguish between different PLLs having the same common features, and then I will go into a little bit in depth recognition and also execution and finger tricks. So these are our first cases, and this case is what I like to call full bar. So in all of these PLLs you'll have a full bar solved like this, and full bar is basically a bar which is 1/3 block on either side. This block can be joined by a 2x1 block or all the corners are solved, etc. So this is our first case. This is the F perm, and this F perm you have this full bar, and on the front side you will have all 3 different colors. So in here I have the green full bar, and in the front I have orange, red and blue. And it's pretty easy to recognize. You only have a single bar and there is nothing on this side, nothing common, no corners solved or no 2x1 bars, nothing. And next is the J perm. In the J perm you also have the full bar, but the J perms will be accompanied by 2x1 bars on all these sides like this. So this is the JB perm, which has a joined 2x1 bar at the back with this 3x1 full bar. We'll go over the J perms in detail in a bit. Next is the U perm. U perm are probably the easiest full bar case to recognize, just because you will have a full bar and you will have all the corners solved. So you will have headlights on 3 sides and a full bar on one side. Probably the easiest PLL to recognize. You already know how to recognize this PLL, so I won't be going over it in this video. But just for the sake of completeness, I included that in the full bar. This is our next case, and this is something I like to call 2x2 block. Basically, you have a 2x1 bar connected to another 2x1 bar like this, and if you look at it like this, it forms a block. So 2x2 square block. There are only 2 cases where you can get a block like this. It will be the A perm and the V perm. So when you see this block like this, right, if these 2 corners match, then it's the A perm. And if these 2 corners don't match, then it's the V perm. That's the distinguishing feature about these 2 PLLs. If these 2 don't match, it's the V perm, and if these 2 match, then this is the A perm. Now there are 2 types of A perms which I'll go in depth in a little bit, and there's only one V perm. Next we will go over the single 2x1 bar cases. So all of these cases will have a single 2x1 bar accompanied by other 2x1 bars or a pair of headlights. There are other things which can accompany these cases. However, all of these cases will have a 2x1 bar. So this is the G perm, headlights and 2x1 bar. This is the Y perm. You have 2x1 bar on either side like this. Then this is the J perm. You have this J shape with 2x1 bar on each and every side apart from this full bar. And then lastly, this is the N perm. N perm has 2x1 bar on all these sides, and we will go in depth about these cases in a bit. So this will be our last case where you have all of the corners solved and there will be headlights on each and every side. And this only happens when you have 2-look PLL. You already know 2-look PLL, but for the sake of completeness, I'll go over them quickly. So this is the H perm. H perm will have headlights on each and every side, and the edge will be opposite the corners. So in here I have orange corners and red edge, so these are opposites. Green corners, blue edge, opposites. Red corners, orange edge, opposites, and blue corners, green edge, opposites. So all the corners will be solved and the edges will be opposite of the corner, and this is how you solve it. You can learn more about 2-look PLLs following the link in the description or right now on the screen. This is the Z perm or Z perm. Z perm is also similar to H perm. You have all of the corners solved and you will have headlights on each and every side, and you have checkerboard pattern on two adjacent sides. So by checkerboard pattern I mean you have blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. So if you think of it as 1 and 2 numeral numbers, will be like 1 2 1 2 1 2. So 1 2 1 2 pattern on adjacent sides. And to solve this Z perm, you can solve it like this. You can follow the link in the description to learn more about them. And last case where you have all of the corners solved is the U perm, but the U perm also has a full bar at the back or at the front, and the U perm has 3 cycles where the edges just need to cycle around these 3 positions. So our next case is the headlight case, and in these cases you will have a set of headlights and accompanied by 2x1 bars, full bars, all corners solved, etc. So in these cases you will always have a headlights with 2x1 bars or full bars or any other aesthetics, but they will always have a set of headlights. And these cases are namely the A perm, the T perm, the R perm, and the G perms. We will learn a bit more in depth about these soon. So first we are going to look at the A perms. Like I mentioned earlier, the A perms will have a block like this on adjacent side, like left and front, and these 2 corners will be the same. So this A perm also has the same pattern. However, in this A perm you have this corner the opposite color of this bar. So I have red corner and the bar is orange, and red and oranges are opposite. But in this A perm you have these 2 as adjacent. That's the way I usually recognize my A perms. And A perms will also have a set of headlights, which will be at the back or at the right depending on what A perm you have. And the headlights position of headlights will be the opposite of this opposite case. So when I have this bar and corner opposite, the headlights will be towards the opposite side of that. So here I have it on my front, so headlights will be at the back. And here I have this opposite case on the left, so I have the headlights on my right. Check if this bar and this corner is opposite or not. If you have opposites, it's the AA perm. If you have it as adjacents, it is the AB perm. If you have the front 2 bar and corner as opposites, the headlights will be at the back. If you have the bar and corner at adjacents, the headlights will be on the right. So how do you solve the case when you have these 2 as opposites? This is the AA perm, and you solve it like this. And for executing these A perms fast, you should know how to do your D2s like this. Pinky ring, pinky ring. And next is this A perm where you have these 2 as adjacents and the headlights will be on the right, and you solve it like this. And just like the previous A perm, for executing this fast, you should know how to do D2s like pinky ring. So next is the T perm. T perm will have a set of headlights, and this edge will be opposite color of these headlights, and this corner and this edge will be the same color. And the headlights will be connected with a 2x1 bar on front as well as on the back. So that's basically the T perm. How I recognize T perms is that I see this headlights and this bar pattern, and I just check if these 2 are same color or not. So once you recognize the T perm, you can execute it like this. And there are different ways of executing this T perm. This is the way that normally people do. This is how I like to execute it. And there are other executions also, like this. If you're interested in learning more T-perm executions, then you can follow the link in the description or click right on the screen now. So in the T-perm, these two corners are being swapped and these two edges are being swapped. So if you take a look at the swapping, it looks like a T. That's why it's called the T-perm. So next we are going to learn the R-perms. Now R-perms are also similar to T-perms in the sense that they have a headlights and a 2x1 bar. And the 2x1 bar can be connected in the front like this or at the back like this. You will not have both of the 2x1 bars at the same time. If you get that, it's T-perm because R-perm will not have those. So there are two R-perms, and when you have this bar in the front, you will see that these two corner and edge don't match. Remember our T-perm, these two corner and edge matches in the T-perm. But if you see that these two edge and corner don't match, then you know it's an R-perm and not a T-perm. So this is the second R-perm. In this R-perm, you have the bar at the back like this. And one thing to notice is that the R-perms will have a checkerboard pattern. So in here you can see orange, blue, and orange. And in this R-perm also you will see the checkerboard from here, green, red, green, red, green. If you ever get the R-perms from this angle and you see this checkerboard, you know that this is an R-perm. So from this angle where you cannot see the bar yet, you can just recognize it from this checkerboard pattern. However, as a beginner, I would just do an U prime to check if the bar is there or not, or tilt the cube and see if the bar is there or not. So in the R-perm, you have these two edges being swapped and these two corners are being swapped. And in this R-perm, you have these two edges being swapped and these two corners being swapped. So how do you solve the R-perms? So for solving this R-perm, when these two are not the same, you can use this algorithm. Pretty straightforward execution. I am doing the D moves like this and D primes like that. So once more. And in this second R-perm, this is the RB perm, you have this bar at the back and you solve it like this. And for executing this R-perm fast, you should know how to do U2s with your left hand as well as right hand. If you want to execute this R-perm fast, you should do it like this. So next we are going to learn the G-perms, and G-perms will have a set of headlights and also a 2x1 bar. And these 2x1 bar can be in 4 positions, in here, in here, in here, or in here. So those constitute the different G-perms, and G-perms can be tricky or easy to recognize. But I find G-perms to be moderate and not really that tough to recognize. And one thing to note in these G-perms is that the headlights will always be on your left side. Always keep your headlights on the left side and then recognize G-perms if you're having any trouble, because either way for executing this G-perms you will be keeping the headlights on the left. So this is the first G-perm and this is called the GA-perm. And in the GA-perm you have headlights on your left like this and the 2x1 bar will be on your front. And for solving this, you do it this algorithm. Next is the GB perm. In the GB perm, you have headlights on your left side, and this time the bar will be on your right face towards the back like this. So you will have the bar in here now, and you use this algorithm to solve it. And instead of doing R prime, U prime, R and then rotating, you can just do it like this. Next is the GC perm. In the GC perm, you have the headlights on your left side once more, and you will have the 2x1 bar at the back. Now you don't have to look at the G perm like this for recognizing it. If you don't see the bar in the front or at the right side, then you know that it will be at the back. So you just look out for these headlights, and you don't have the bar on the front and right. So this is the GC perm. And you can also solve the GC from this angle, keeping the headlights in the right side and this bar in the front, and you can do it like this. And for executing this algorithm fast, you should know how to do U2s with your left hand as well as right hand. And lastly, we have the GD perm. In the GD perm, you have the headlights on your left side once more, and the bar will be on your right side towards the front and right. Now don't confuse it with the GB perm. The GB perm will have the 2x1 bar at the back and right, and this will have it on the front and right. So the corner in here is the front right corner, and in the GB perm it's the back right corner. You can just remember it like that if you want. If you did not understand my recognition for these G perms, then I will link a video down in the description of how I execute these G perms. This is the next PLL that we are going to learn, the J perms, and the J perms will have a full complete bar on one side, but the J perm will also have a connected 2x1 bar. So when you have the full 3x1 bar on your left side, one of the J perms will have the 2x1 bar connected on the front side, and the other J perm will have the 2x1 connected on the back side. So when you have the 2x1 bar connected on the front, it is called the JA perm, and some people also call it the L perm because it looks like an L. So if you get the L perm reference, then they are probably referencing this PLL. And the other J perm is the JB perm, which has the 2x1 bar at the back. And there are multiple executions of the J perm, and I will go over all of them. So this is the JA perm or the L perm, and you execute it like this. So you hold the J perm like this, so you have the bar in the front, and then you do this algorithm. Like that. And there are multiple executions for this JA PLL depending on what AUF you have. Now if you don't know what AUF means adjusting the U phase after you have done your PLL. Here I have the U perm, which is like this, and after completing the U perm I have to do a U move to AUF. So after completing the PLL I am left with this, and for solving the cube I have to adjust the U phase by a U move. And in this case I have to adjust the U phase by a U prime, and in this case I have to do AUF by U2. This is the first execution where you don't have an AUF. So when you see this color and this bar matches, which means you won't have an AUF. And for no AUF you solve it like this. So basically what you are doing is, instead of doing an R and then L, you are basically doing R and then wide R. So I'll quickly go over it once again, like that. And how you can do the last R is you just solve the algorithm, and in the end, when you have the grip like this, you just do a wide R. You have the grip like this now, and you still have the index finger in the air, so you can just do the wide last R like that. Next is the JB perm. The JB perm will have a full bar on your left and a connected 2x1 bar on your back. This is how you execute it. There are different executions for this case, and you can use whatever you prefer. So the first one is the one I just showed you now. You do the F prime with your index like this, and then do it. Next, the thumb finger trick, and do it like this. So you are basically trying to have a slight grip on this corner and using this corner to make the algorithm flow. like that, and I think Colin Burns uses that execution. Lastly, this is the execution which Feliks uses, and he does the F prime with an index, right index, and just follows the algorithm and just follows the execution like how I showed you. So once more, like that. Execution should be personal preference, the one which you can do faster than the others. So time all of your executions and see which one flows better for you, and then do that execution. This is the EPERM, and EPERM does not have a distinguishing feature like the other PLLs like full bar or headlights or corner solve, etc. EPERM is quite weird, so if you don't see any distinguishing features, right, then you know that it's an EPERM. And to verify if it's an EPERM or not, if you just align the centers like this, so red and red, blue and blue, like this, and this corner and this edge matches, and these two are opposites, then you know that it's an EPERM. Alternatively, you can also look at it from this angle. If you have these two corner and edge match and these two are opposites, then you can also know it's an EPERM. The same as in here, these two match, these two are opposites, it's an EPERM. So that's the method I have found out to be effective, fast method by which you can know if it's an EPERM or not. So the recognition of the EPERM goes like this. So you start by gripping the cube like this, and then you do R, U prime, R prime, D. R, U, R prime, D prime, like finger push like this. Then R, U, R prime, D, R, U prime, R prime, D prime. And for doing this alg fast and successfully, you should just know how to do D and D primes like this. Some people like to use D primes like that, and you can also do this execution. But I don't think it will be as effective as the one I just now showed. FPerm also has a full 3x1 bar on your left side. However, FPerm will not have any other distinguishing feature like 2x1 bar or corner solve, headlights, etc. So you will only have a single 3x1 bar, and this 3x1 bar can be here, 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 or here. That can be anywhere on the U layer. And sometimes people confuse the FPerm with EPerms when you get the case like this. So in here you don't see you have a bar on these three faces, so they are like, oh, it's a EPerm, let me do the EPerm algorithm. But then if you are using my algorithm, it will require rotation, and you see the FPerm like this, then you have to do like this and then go back and do the FPerm, which is pretty inefficient. So whenever you so for verifying if you have an FPerm or not, you can, if you know the EPerm recognition, I told you to recognize the EPerm like this. However, I also mentioned that you can recognize the EPerm from looking at these two faces. So here's an EPerm. In the EPerm, you have these two the same and these two will be opposite. But when the FPerm is at the back like this, you have these two as opposites, but these two will be adjacents. In the EPerm, you will have these two as the same, and there are no adjacents in EPerm. So if you see that these two are opposites and these two are adjacents, then you know it's an FPerm, and you don't have to look at the backside for that. So that's a quick tip for distinguishing FPerms from EPerms. And for solving the FPerm, you hold this bar on your left side and then you do this algorithm. And there is a second execution also which I like to use, which goes like this. And the FPerm algorithm is also easy to memorize. So if you already know the TPerm algorithm, which goes like this, you already know the FPerm. So FPerm is basically R prime, U prime, F prime, and then you start doing the TPerm algorithm. Now in the TPerm algorithm, instead of doing R prime, F prime at the end, you just stop there and just insert this F12 back in like an R prime UR. So once more, R prime, U prime, F prime, do the TPerm, stop at the final T move, and just insert this F12 pair. That's basically your FPerm. In the FPerm, these two edges are swapped and these two corners are swapped. So these two edges, these two corners are being swapped. So the next case is our V-perm, and V-perm is really similar to the A-perms. However, in the V-perms, these two corners don't match, but in the A-perms, these two corners will also match. So that's one distinguishing feature between the A-perms and V-perms. So you can use that to distinguish between both of those PLLs. And this is how you execute this V-perm. So you hold this bar in your front and left, and then you do this algorithm. And here, instead of doing rotation, some people also like to do this. And there's also another algorithm which you can use for this case, which I like to use. So you just do a rotation like this. So you have this bar on your right side, and then you do this. I find my algorithm better than this case just because I cannot do it as fast as I can do my algorithm. And if you're interested to know how I execute my alg, then a link to my video will be in the description or right now on the screen. Next case is our Y-perm, and the Y-perm will have two 2x1 blocks on two sides. So here I have the 2x1 bar in your front and right. And the Y-perm switches these two corners and these two edges, and if you take a look at that, it looks like the alphabet Y. That's why it's called the Y-perm. So you hold the case like this with your unsolved corner in your front and these two bar on your front and right, and then you do this algorithm. And our Y-perm algorithm is just a combination of two oral algorithms. So if you know this T case and you know this kite/fish shape, I think, then you already know the Y-perm algorithm. So for solving this oral, you do F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. And for solving this T case, you do R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. Now you just do this oral and this oral together after one another, and you will get the Y-perm. So here it is once again. First the kite oral. After doing the kite oral, you get this T oral. You just do the T oral to solve the Y-perm. And lastly, we have the N-perms. N-perms will have 2x1 bar on each and every side in the same position like this. And in this N-perm also you have the same 2x1 bar in the same position. However, one distinguishing feature about the N-perm is that the corner and this bar will always be opposites. So here it is orange and reds, blue and green, red and orange, and then green and blue. So it's always opposites. And in this N-perm also you have blue and green opposites, red and orange opposites, green and blue opposites, and orange and red opposites. And you can differentiate between these two N-perms like this. So in one of the N-perms you have the bar in your front right corner and this edge, and the another N-perm you have the bar in your front left corner and this edge. So that's a distinguishing feature about this N-perm. So front left and bar, and this is the first N-perm, and then front right and bar, this is the second N-perm. For solving this N-perm, you can use this algorithm. The execution is pretty easy. I'm just doing normal execution, so there is no complex things which are going on to this execution. And for solving this N-perm, you can use this algorithm. Alternatively, if you don't like those algorithms, then you can also use these algorithms instead. So for solving this N-perm, and for solving this N-perm, now if you're using these algorithms, then a pro tip to distinguish between what algorithm to use for which case is you see this lone corner, right? So you have this bar and this lone corner. So the starting of the alg will always affect this lone corner. When I have the lone corner in your R slice, you have to first start with the D move N-perm to affect this lone corner. So for solving this, you just do a D and then use your D move and then you use the D move N-perm, the one N-perm which starts with the D move. And for solving this, when you have the lone corner in your L slice, you have to affect this corner. So for affecting this corner, you have to start with a U move. So for this case, you do the U move and perm. And most people, I don't think most people are using these algorithms. Feliks himself uses the RU and perms, and it flows really well. So yeah, you can use whatever end perm you want for these cases. So I think that covers all of the full PLL cases, excluding the 2-look PLL cases. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and learned something new today. Yeah, if you want to learn the U perms, H perm, and Z perm, you can follow the link in the description and learn those PLLs. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any criticism on how I can improve my videos, then you can put them down in the comments. And I will see you next time, guys. Take care and bye.